On today's Southern Spotlight, the Scuff Film Festival is back on ground. We'll meet student filmmaker Lisa Tedesco to discuss the challenges of filmmaking during COVID. And we'll have an interview with SCSU President Joe Bertolino. All of that coming up and more. Welcome to Southern Spotlight. I'm your host, Tim O'Shea. While the COVID pandemic continues to impact classes and campus events, this week's show focuses on Southern's efforts to overcome these challenges and bring the campus community together. Southern hosted an on-ground event organized by the Multicultural Center last Wednesday. The event featured diverse local cuisine, music, and dance performances by SCSU students. The event was a success as Southern continues to host more on-ground events in preparation for a more normalized fall semester. Southern's TV Club held their annual Southern Connecticut University Film Festival, or SCUF. SCUF was held on April 23rd in the Student Center Ballroom. This event allowed students from within or outside the Southern community to submit their own films and win numerous prizes. Previously, SCUF was held online due to COVID-related restrictions, but successfully managed to be in person this spring.
A lot of the challenges that were thrown at us this semester, it was supposed to be entirely online. And at the last second, we had the right of way to make it an in-person event, and we decided that it was best for the students to be able to enjoy some social interaction.
Southern Connecticut senior Lisa Tedesco has just completed production of her third independent film. Tedesco, owner of independent film company Lady Film Media, has just completed the production of their third film titled Spin. We caught up with Tedesco to ask her about the challenges of making the film with COVID restrictions.
Doing this short film here at Lyman, we had to get a COVID compliance officer on set to make sure everyone was consistently wearing masks, washing their hands, keeping a safe distance when you can.
On May 3rd, the Office of Annual Giving ran a charity event to support Southern funding and future students. Their philanthropy group, known as the True Blue Owls, gave out t-shirts to students and philanthropy cords to graduating seniors at the Adante Student Center. The event was to support Southern scholarships and funding to the university. As the 2020-2021 academic year comes to an end, a reminder from resident hall directors that all students must move out between now and May 14th at 5 p.m. If you need to stay past the May 14th deadline, fill out the summer application found on the My Housing portal or contact your hall director for more information. And coming up next on Southern Spotlight, an interview with Southern President Dr. Joe Bertolino. We'll be right back after this commercial break. And welcome back to a very special edition of Southern Spotlight. Joining us today is none other than Southern's very own president, Dr. Joe Bertolino. President Joe is going on his fourth year as president of Southern Connecticut State University and still remains active as an educator and a scholar. President Joe, thank you for being with us today. It's truly a pleasure.
Thank you. Delighted to be here.
So President Joe, within the Southern community, you're known as someone who is very engaged and involved with student and faculty, whether it's moving kids in on campus, going to football games, or any other on-campus activities. Now, what is your philosophy behind that, and why is that so important to you to be so involved on campus?
I think the answer to that is simple. There's only one reason we're here, students.
Right.
So everything we do here, students have to be the center. And quite frankly, that's where I draw my energy from. I draw my energy from students. I come from student affairs, a student affairs background. I started my career as a hall director, living in a residence hall. And so, from my perspective, students come here not just for an education, but they come here for the experience.
Right.
And so part of that experience needs to be the formation of relationships. And from my perspective, relationships, I teach a leadership class, and I always tell students, I'm going to give you the whole class right now. Leadership is all about relationships, period.
Right.
And so my goal is to help students feel comfortable and to form relationships not just with each other, but with the community here who's going to support them in everything they do. And I might add that actually, I am finishing my 5th year
Oh, okay.
here at the institution,
Okay.
and will be entering my 6th year,
Okay.
6th academic year, starting in the fall.
Well, congratulations.
So,
And we just want you to know that it's very noticeable amongst the student body that you are very involved and stuff. So you're doing a great job of that.
Thanks.
Now, 2020, I'm assuming you couldn't be as engaged as you wanted with the students because of obvious reasons, COVID pandemic and everything like that. What were some of the struggles and like kind of the challenges you faced as a president from then sending the students home like everyone else in the country did to now implementing protocols, trying to get the kids back, when was a good time to send them home? Just take us through that timeline and maybe some challenges that you faced that maybe we don't know about.
well, everything happened very quickly. It was a matter of days in some respects. I had just met with my executive team at the end of February and said, we're hearing a lot about COVID. Are we prepared
Right.
in case we have to take action? And I'm actually glad I had that meeting, quite frankly, because it then set into motion a series of protocols and strategies that would help us to be better prepared. And I needed to make a decision within a day.
Yeah.
One day I was doing a virtual town hall meeting and telling everyone, here's what's going to happen. And then a day or two later, I'm telling everybody to go home.
Yeah, definitely not planned for.
So certainly not. I mean, and it's heartbreaking in many respects because our students are losing that engagement experience. We
Right.
had seniors who were losing part of their senior year. First year students, it was impacting their very first year. And then this entire year, students didn't have a traditional experience. I think we did a good job in trying to provide as much of a positive experience as possible, but it's not the same as,
Yes.
as being on campus.
Yeah.
And so I think what most folks may not know is just the sheer amount of work that faculty and staff have had to engage in this year, last year and this year, behind the scenes in order to make everything work.
Must have been unprecedented.
It was unprecedented. We managed to go from teaching a handful of online classes to then trying to transition every
Everything.
aspect of the university online. Some cases that was successful, some cases not so much.
Yeah.
And it was hard to convince folks to come back,
Yeah.
whether it was to go to the office or whether it was to attend an on-ground class. I actually teach an on-the-ground class. I did so last semester and this semester, and most of that class I held outside.
Yeah.
So that folks would feel more comfortable, and it was a smaller class.
And that must be a testament to your staff's flexibility with the situation. I mean, just doing an entire 180, that is a really hard job to do.
Yeah, and we learned a lot. I think that because we were able to transition in March, that allowed us to have a little bit of experience with what we were about to get into. And the summer provided us with a good opportunity to ramp up, if you will.
Okay.
So now we will spend this summer ramping up for a return to campus and trying to make sure that students feel comfortable coming back. And that's going to be no easy feat.
Yeah.
Because students and those who work here haven't been here. And because of that, folks have been through a lot. They've been through a lot of pain, personally, professionally, emotionally. There's been a lot of loss.
Right.
And so While I always worry about a person's education, more importantly than that, I'm worried about people
Yeah. Yeah.
and their care.
As you should. Yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're not going to be successful in the classroom if the rest of your life isn't cared for.
Right.
And so I think our job is not just to bring people back to school and educate them. It's to make sure our students are students getting enough to eat? Do they have a place to live? If they have children, do they have the child care they need? I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah.
And I think we play a role in that.
And you kind of just touched on it, segueing into my next question. You said you had an interview with NBC, and in an article you stated that you were expecting about 70% of classes to be in person next semester. So what can you know, knowing what you know now, and given everything can change over the summer, what can students expect in 2021? Will it be kind of like a take back from this semester, a step back like it was this semester with the protocols and everything, or will it be more like it was before COVID in 2021 academic year?
Yes and yes. I think it's going to be a combination of both.
Okay.
I think what you're going to see is we'll have about 75% of our classes on ground and in some type of hybrid form. I think you're going to see smaller class sizes.
Okay.
You're going to see, we're going to continue to wear masks because I think that's the right thing to do. In terms of, we're going to continue to be socially distant in the classroom setting, but it's going to be 3 feet instead of 6 feet. And I'm really going to encourage the staff to do as much outside as possible.
Okay.
Weather permitting.
Right.
And that's why we set up a couple outdoor classrooms. Go outside. If the weather is good, teach outside, have your events outside. I think not only is it a safer bet, but it also provides individuals with some comfort and reassurance. I don't think we're going to be kind of back to normal until 2022. At least that's the hope. But for right now, the most important thing students can do, get vaccinated.
Right.
The faster you get vaccinated, the faster we will be able to get things back to normal.
Right. And I just got my second dose today.
Very good.
So
excellent.
And I just have one more personal question.
Sure.
I know the producer's kind of getting me to go, but I have one more personal question. So I went to school at Wagner College in Staten Island, New York.
Yeah.
I know that you worked at a school, Queens College.
Queens College, City University of New York.
Yep. So in an interview you had, I did my research, in an interview you had 4 years ago with SCSU TV, you stated that you were looking forward to trying New Haven pizza. Now I'm assuming you've had your time to try a slice or two. I've had New York pizza. I'm from Connecticut. I've had New Haven pizza. My two-part question is, what is your favorite pizza place in New Haven? And what is it better than New York pizza?
Oh my goodness gracious!
I'm putting you on the spot here.
You can put me on the spot, and like a good politician, I'm going to say any pizza that comes out of New Haven is good because I'll be on the front page of the New Haven Register if I pick just one. But and the pizza in our own shop isn't too bad.
It's not too bad. It really isn't
either. So I encourage folks to try all of it.
Awesome. That was a great answer, President Joe.
Okay.
And that will do it for today's show. We would once again like to thank President Joe for taking time out of his busy schedule to be on our show today. And join us next week for another edition of Southern Spotlight, and follow us on Facebook for daily updates. I'm Tim O'Shea. Thank you for watching. That was great.
Thanks, Tim.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.